A $325 annual fee can be worth it. A $95 annual fee can be a trap. That moment matters because credit card strategy does not happen in a spreadsheet. It happens when a real bill is in front of you, a payment terminal is waiting, and you have to choose a card in 2 seconds. This video is not about finding one perfect annual fee card for everyone. It is about building a practical system, a system that tells you what each card is for, when to ignore a card, when to use cash back, when travel points make sense, and when the reward is not worth the risk. Before anything else, one rule controls the whole conversation. Rewards only make sense when you pay your statement balance in full and avoid interest. If a balance is carried, the math can change fast. The CFPB explains that a grace period may help avoid purchase interest when a cardholder pays in full by the due date, but the viewer should always check their own issuer terms. Here is the problem. The fee number gets all the attention, but the real question is whether the card beats the realistic alternative after the fee. People count credits at face value, ignore year 2 behavior, and compare the card against zero instead of against the card they would actually use. That is how an annual fee becomes a subscription to complexity. So the goal for this episode is simple. Provide a 3-question break-even test for deciding whether an annual fee card earns its place. The examples in this video use name cards only as role examples. They are not approval guidance, not financial advice, and not a claim that one card is best for everyone. Annual fees, rewards, credits, transfer partners, and card terms can change. Before applying, verify current details directly with the issuer. Question 1. Would you use the benefit anyway? A credit has real value only when it reduces spending that already existed. Here is the real-life version. A $10 monthly dining credit is close to $10 for someone already buying eligible pickup every month. It is not close to $10 for someone ordering $38 of delivery just to avoid missing the credit. This is the first filter. Did the benefit replace spending that already existed, or did it create a new reason to spend? That is the moment the card becomes a tool instead of a trophy. Count natural use credits. Discount forced use credits. Natural use is the first filter. Now compare the reward gap. Question 2. Does the reward gap beat the fee? Compare the annual fee card against the actual no-fee alternative. Here is the real-life version. A $0 card returns $160 on a spending pattern. An annual fee card might generate $360 of rewards and $180 of natural credits, but after a $325 fee, the edge is only $55. If natural credits fall to $60, the no-fee card can win. Once the credit is honest, the next step is comparison. The annual fee card has to beat the card the viewer would realistically use instead. The point is not to collect harder. The point is to remove the card that only looks useful. Net value, not gross rewards, decides the card. Year 1 can distort the math. Question 3. Would you keep it in year 2? The second annual fee reveals whether the card has an ongoing job. Here is the real-life version. A $95 travel card may work for someone traveling twice a year, using transfer partners, and valuing travel protections. The same card may not work for someone who rarely travels and redeems poorly. Year 1 can hide the problem because the new card excitement is loud. Year 2 is quieter, and that is usually where the real answer shows up. That is why the second year test matters. The card has to survive without the launch excitement. Do not let a temporary offer define a permanent role. Now apply the test to common annual fee card types. Starter travel cards need real travel. A $95 travel card is not expensive if it supports real travel behavior. Here is the real-life version. Chase Sapphire. Preferred and Capital One Venture are examples of $95 travel cards, but they solve different problems. Category and transfer travel versus simpler miles and travel redemptions. Now put the test against a real card roll. A travel card only earns its place if travel is already part of the viewer's life. Roll beats prestige here. If the travel behavior is not real, the travel card is just an expensive story. A travel card needs a travel job, not a travel fantasy. Food and credit cards require even more honest math. Food and credit cards need natural credits. High earning can be ruined by forced credit usage. Here is the real-life version. Amex Gold may be powerful for eligible food spending, but its value depends on eligible categories, caps, annual fee, natural credits, and membership rewards redemption behavior. Food and credit cards need an even stricter version of the same test, because a credit can look useful while quietly changing behavior. This is where honest math protects the viewer from turning a reward into a chore. If the card makes the viewer change behavior, the credit is worth less. The worksheet turns this into a repeatable annual review. Now bring the whole system back to one action. Build a break-even worksheet, annual fee, conservative reward value, natural credits, useful benefits, forced spending, and best $0 alternative. Do not start by asking which card is more exciting. Start by asking which role is missing and whether the card makes that role easier, safer, and more valuable after fees, credits, redemption friction, and real behavior. The callback to the hook is this. The right card is not the one that looks best in a thumbnail. It is the one that still makes sense when the mechanic, doctor office, hotel, airline, restaurant, grocery store, or online checkout actually asks for payment. Next, zoom in on statement credits because they are the easiest part of annual fee math to overvalue. Rewards only make sense when you pay your statement balance in full and avoid interest. This is educational content, not financial advice. Always verify current card terms directly with the issuer before applying. If you want a simple way to keep track of the cards you already have, annual fees, and statement credits, I built an app called Cards Nest. Scan the QR code on screen to check it out. Cards Nest is independent. Always verify card details directly with the issuer before applying.